exit polls and things like that. How good are they, how bad are they, and things like that. But you have seen the examples in recent elections, what happened and things like that. Okay, so what it says, the global aggregate market will reach 2.1 trillion mark by 2025. And a large share out of that will come from BRIC countries. BRIC countries are Brazil, Russia, India and China. Okay, so because the population in these countries is growing and the wealth of it in these countries is growing. So will not be so much in USA and Europe as a traditional market, but the new markets will offer a lot of opportunity in terms of growth. That is an important lesson here. So China and India together as a region will also become a major dominant market, major consumption market, which is a good sign. The third important trend is that China, because its own market will be growing, will reduce the clothing export focus and they start getting to its own market. What we talked about, we can't only focus on exports and not focus on our own market. And many of your exporter friends are setting up brands for the domestic market and growing there. So China will also do so because it has a limited capacity, so it will service its own market. When China starts servicing more of its own market, it will create a vacuum of over $100 billion worth of exports capability, which some other countries can take that market. That opportunity will be available to India, that opportunity will be available to so many other countries. But that's an interesting thing. And I already see in Bangladesh, some of our clients getting huge orders from Chinese buyers for their own market. And one integrated knitwear mill, they got offer saying that we can virtually take your entire capacity. You don't have to go to US, UK, whatever, and they can give you a good price, equivalent to what Europeans pay you and things like that. Because it's a huge market. So the kind of volume they will offer, that kind of volume probably cannot be offered by Europeans. Because it will be investment that will come into the garment industry. I leave this slide and move forward. Market and growth of Indian exports for 2025, it is estimated that our exports, clothing exports, will be about $76 billion and our domestic market will be 200 market. Domestic market of our exports put together will be about $276 billion for 2025. Now, looking at the manufacturing trend, looking at the way we are growing, okay, and the way the consumption will grow, okay, both put together, we would be able to produce about $140 billion worth of product, which will be exported as well as cater to the domestic market. Which means, if you don't do something differently, there will be a gap of about $136 billion in our manufacturing capacity and the potential market available. Now, this gap has to be filled by someone. Okay? Now it depends if the Indian companies, our industry is able to rise to the occasion, is able to grow, then we will be able to capture a fair amount of this share. But assuming we are not able to do so, this market will be available to global companies. And there will be a lot of companies, a lot of countries in the world which already is finding the Indian market attractive. And they will try to come and enter into this market, and they will try to also enter into your export market. Okay? So, important point here is that our manufacturing is not growing at the pace the market is growing, or the opportunity for us is available. And as a result, we may be vacating the way China is vacating its space, we might be vacating our space in the market, which is of course not a desired situation. But we need to see those numbers at a bigger picture level. Okay, so I just leave it there, move forward. So who will fill this gap? This is going to be India, and there are going to be firms from Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia. No, Malaysia is not there in the fray, but Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, some countries in Africa, some countries in Central Asia, which are also looking at entering into this market. We work with some of those countries and so on. If we look at the growth rate of exports, we got Bangladesh, Vietnam, Turkey, India, and Indonesia, and you see that Bangladesh, of course, has shown a very, very impressive growth rate. In spite of all kinds of problems they have had in recent years, still the country and their exports continue to grow 25% plus per annum, year after year after year. And this year, also again, in spite of the problem, they will grow probably about 28 to 30% as such. But the moment we put China together, then the whole picture is different. But the good news is that China is vacating the space. But that good news is known to everybody. So if you don't, so that's how this looks. The moment we put China in the place, then the other lines are not visible. See, the problem is, the reality is, we've got to be realistic and plan. We've got to be realistic and plan. We must have pride. We must take pride in our capabilities. We must take pride in our ability to engage in the international trade. But we must be realistic and call a spade a spade. Okay? Because with that, you can do realistic planning, which is firmly rooted in the ground, and can work out projections in terms of how we will grow. Sometimes if you become happy growing by 7%, 6%, 8%, then that will not really let you be a big player in the market. Bangladesh has been able to achieve this status, or even for that matter, even Vietnam and Cambodia have been able to achieve this status because these people have grown in double-digit growth year after year. So in a very short time, they were able to bring their industry to a sizable level as such. So they did not get, again, very happy with the Hindu rate of growth or whatever you call. So it is important, it has to be seen from that point of view. So many times people say, you can be assured of the best of the quality, we are the biggest exporter is durable. These kind of things are not right. Because in today's information age, everybody knows everything. They just do it with Google and they get to know what your company's turnover is. What could be your average UAR. So information is available. So we must understand the reality of the business and speak in a measured manner. And give a realistic impression about the company, give a realistic impression about the potential of the company. People will trust you more. They will say, yes, we can grow with these companies and so on. Let's move forward. Okay? So quick reality check and challenges. Challenges, of course, I want to you more than I do, but yes, this is challenge in the durable industry as well as industry across the country, a challenge across the globe. The shortage of skilled workforce is a global phenomenon. We need to find some solutions to that. Fabric quality continues to be a problem. I'm sure that in spite of big textile infrastructure and textile capacity around, still the durable garment manufacturers cannot say that they are 100% happy with the fabric quality what you get. A lot more is desired to be done, isn't it? Reliability of suppliers, raw material reliability on time. You got cotton, polyester is not there, polyester is expensive. The costs are increasing on a constant basis, cost of power, cost of transportation, cost of labor, cost of doing business, all are increasing. And of course, we are fluctuating government policies. There is no guarantee what will happen one day. Anything can happen, everything can happen. So again, that makes an uncertain environment as such, makes doing business difficult. Alright? All the challenges are there. Let's move forward. Okay. It is also important to know how the buyers look at us. Now, how we look at ourselves is one issue, But when it's mainly the export driven industry, how do buyers look at India? How do buyers look at China? Sorry, at Turkey. We must have a reality check on a regular basis. So recently there was a seminar at CII in Delhi, and there was one large sourcing company's vice president came in, and he talked about their perception. But good thing he did was, he did not talk about his own perception about India. In the company, he talked to about 18 sourcing managers sitting in different parts of the world and carried out a survey, kind of opinion poll, what you as sourcing heads of denim products, woven products, knitwear products, lingerie, this, that, how do you look at India as a sourcing destination compared to other countries on various parameters? And he shared his findings, and I tried to capture that. I mean, just to get a quick test of how some of the buyers, not because all buyers have the same kind of feeling. This is important because buyers pair. Okay? And this is from the VF Corporation, which is a large buyer and using huge quantities, the perception of the sourcing heads. Okay. So cost competitiveness. And his survey said, half of the buyers said India is cost competitive, half of them said India is not cost competitive. That is, in some categories we found to be competitive, in some categories we are not competitive. On-time delivery, they say, is a major area of concern. On-time delivery of Indian supplies is nowhere closer to what the buyers expect and nowhere closer to what the exporters would like to have. On both fronts, a lot needs to be done there. Okay? So, on a scale of 1 to 10, the average score was 4.7. It can be seen as a bad news as well as good news. What is the good news?
About 50%.
Huh?
About 50%.
Yes. What is the good news then?
It was achieved.
Yeah, you have a lot of scope for improvement. Lot of scope for improvement. So, it's the way you look at it. So, as long as we want to put our house in order, there's a lot of scope for improvement. If we did so, our score will improve. Okay? But on-time delivery is really concerned. Quality. They said quality is good, but can be much better. There are no major problems per se, but can be much better. So, customer is kind of happy, but is not very happy. And when you want the customer to come back to you again and again, you want customer to be very, very happy. So that the whole idea is, and not of the practice, and not of the bias promote think that they are about you, but the principle of marketing is that the customer must feel that when they do business with you, they can keep their worries at home. Once they are always placed with you, there should be no need for them to worry. I placed an order today, and finally I get a message that goods have arrived on time, as per whatever. That's it. There should not be a need for a second email or a third email. If that kind of situation happens, then what you have done is you have taken the customer's worry out. You have reduced the pressure on his time, you have reduced the pressure on his brain, and slowly he or she starts getting used to that kind of a relationship. And that makes her customer loyalty. Because she will not be very sure if I go to someone else, they are going to say kind of treatment as such. Okay? So, quality is okay, but can be much better. Infrastructure of the country, of course, needs huge improvement. We all know about it. Okay? A lot needs to be done. Not so much in the hand of an individual entrepreneur, but Tirupur again as a cluster has done a lot of work in the area of infrastructure development for the whole city as well as for the population of the cluster, and would continue to work with the government and other agencies. Efficiency. For commercial people, that the Indian government industry efficiency needs significant amount of improvement, because they feel because of this, in many cases, you are not competitive. Because the efficiency levels being low, the industry is not competitive in many categories as such. And they found it to be 3.96 and one of the lowest in Asia. This is a very uncomfortable situation. Why should that be the case? One of the ways, that's the perception. Is that a reality? You know, different a little bit here and there, but there's a great amount of truth in that perception. Some fractions, millimeters will change from here to there. Okay, I have a fair amount of research in this area. Reliability, there's an opportunity for improvement. Product development, last good news, it's very good. India as a country is seen to be very good at product development, can be excellent. Still not excellent. It is not still 100% on the dot. But compared to other competitors, we are much better. And that is one of the reasons buyers still like to come to India. Because they feel the Indian entrepreneurs and their teams understand fashion. They understand trends. They are able to read trends. They are able to develop very good samples. Not only they are able to make very good samples, the second part of the sentence is that they are not very good at converting the sample into production. So that area again needs to be improved further as that. So this is just one example. I am not saying that all buyers think that way. Some buyers think probably much higher of India, and some buyers think even worse than what this company feels. It's a large company, and they did a good survey. So when he came for seminar, he did his preparations and came. And he did a great favor by bringing an objective perspective of a team of buyers, how they felt about India as such. And many times it's important that we see mirror from time to time and not live in our own world and saying that no, I pat your back, you pat my back, and you say, oh, how great we are. It's not a good idea. We are great, but sometimes we forget that we are great. And sometimes we don't put that greatness into action. And that really will make a difference in the world. Let's go on further. It's not that the government has not done things. Government has put a lot of policies and schemes and stuff like that, National Skill Development Mission, Integrated Skill Development Program, Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme, Apparel Pass Scheme and things like that. So many schemes are come. The difficulty with us is we take a long time to produce schemes, then we put some reasonable targets and we achieve about 20% of the target, 25% of the target. So that good scheme is more good because that scheme does not deliver. Even this, your skill upgradation schemes and so on, they are delivering about 20% of the projected results. So that skill gap or a shortage of workforce will still continue to remain. Because if you are only achieving 20% of the targets, 80% you are off year after year, where will the industry get workforce from? And if industry has to grow, then industry has to think. How do we develop our own people? Can we take our destiny in our own hand? Not depend on government. Of course, we have to see that how the government machinery functions better and certain things are happening in the country, but still you cannot over-depend on them because the time would have gone. For you, your clock is ticking every day. For you, your cost is increasing every day. You cannot afford to lose even a single day on some of the important issues as such. So yes, there are schemes. Nobody is saying there are no schemes. But how effective are those? Are we really making use of them? The reality of the international garment trade is, even though the market is growing, okay, still there are few players who are occupying the seat, but there are many countries who are queuing up for that market. Their stomach is hungry and they will do whatever it requires to get that business. They will do undercutting, they will do whatever. Market entry strategy, they see if I can get some of those dollars to really help me buy medicines for my population. It will help me buy some educational facilities for my population. They are not seeing exports. They would like to get into exports. Okay? So, that is the background. I am not here to give you some sad stories. Okay, I showed you the potential first. There is a great potential in terms of the market available. It's us who have to decide how much we are going to conquer out of that. We'll look at some of the challenges as such and we'll hear more from you. But what can we do as entrepreneurs? What can we do as a country? What can we do as a cluster? And where is the improvement potential available? Where we can take our destiny in our own hand and make a start. Once you make a start, others will join. Okay? So this session is about the treasure in our own organizations. And I firmly believe that, any change has to start from home. Charity must start from home. The improvement must start from home. Okay? Reformation must start from home. Once you practice it, you can preach your neighbor. Once two of you practice, you can preach four of your neighbors. And that's how the whole momentum can build. Okay? So how do we unlock this potential is this session about? Okay? I firmly believe, number one, and there's a lot of data available for this, but I believe, and we have evidence now on this, that the profitability of the government companies can be improved by about 50%, 50, from current profitability by producing first-time right quality. In every process, don't get confused. First-time right quality in fabrics, first-time right quality in sample making, first-time right quality in cutting, stitching, finishing, embroidery, printing, whatever you do, washing. If the reworks go out of the process, a minimum 50% increase in profitability is possible. And we have enough evidence, and there is some case studies I'll share. Okay? It is not understood by most companies. Is the power? Is power connection on, please? Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So, many people feel, sir, why is for discussion? Again, so many people feel, and they tell me, sir, what are you talking about quality? Quality is history. There is no discussion on quality required now, because they are already very good. They have a wrong conception of quality. We are not talking about the outbound quality of the product. We are talking about quality of every process. The quality of every process improves, profitability can go up by 50%. Let's move forward. The second level of improvement is productivity. And again, our study suggests that average factory can double its level of productivity. Some factories can be much better than average. Maybe the potential for them is about 30%, 40%, 50%. But that kind of a level of potential is available. I'll show you some figures about the benchmarks and stuff like that. Okay. The third area is very, very important is to be able to get productivity and quality improvement. To be able to get productivity and quality improvement, that's not done. If you see it right here, it's coming in. But to be able to get productivity and quality improvement, we have to work with our workforce very, very closely. Unless our workers are involved, unless our supervisors are involved in the productivity quality improvement, they understand our thinking. If they think in the same way, this improvement will not happen. So productivity or quality will not happen because of some technology, because you bring in some systems, but don't involve workers. Yesterday we had some discussion about the labor contractor system and things like that. See what the labor contractor system does. It distances owner from the workers. The workers have no direct dialogue with the management, and management have no access to workers directly. They are not able to talk. They are not able to listen to each other. There is very little communication. If you have that kind of situation where the communication between two parties is so less that you cannot think of achieving any kind of a world-class practices in your factory. Because you have a hands-off approach. All modern techniques, all modern systems, what a good buyer would like to have in your factory cannot exist if you have contractor-based working. A good buyer will come and do technical audit of the factory. Will see if your QMS is good. QMS can only be good if you have a stable workforce which understand your thinking, your philosophy, and you really work together, and that is evident on the shop floor. If that is not there, then there's going to be a shortfall on that front. That's it. It's very, very important. Worker engagement, and I will talk about that because that also has an effect on your labor turnover, has an effect on your absenteeism, and you only have high absenteeism and labor turnover factory. You cannot run that factory as a factory. You can run that factory as a large tailoring unit, but not as a modern factory, not as a factory with assembly lines or some scientific techniques as such. And that holds you back then in the eyes of buyer. I will also share with you, is it okay? I'm still building the background. Is it okay? Am I speaking fast, slow?
Comfortable. It's okay.
Okay, sure?
Yeah.
Anybody has any question? Anybody has any doubt? We'll say it's all bullshit. I want to say something else. Please feel free. Okay? Don't shy out. So, I want to share our concept of factory improvement, our concept of how we can build our factories. Okay? So, what we have been saying is, if you want to improve if you want to improve the competitiveness of the organization, especially as a manufacturing organization, you must look at productivity. One go improvement process, not one at a time, because all three are essential for a company to move up, and they help each other. They create a synergy. They become 1 plus 1 equal to 11. And if you do that individually, then you don't get the full benefit of your resources as such. So, what RBC feels that we must look at improving productivity by the HR system. When we do so, what happens? Let's try to understand. Because you make these efforts, sincere efforts, your outgoing quality starts becoming better than earlier. So, assuming earlier your order to ship ratio was 98%, you try to get now your order to ship ratio to 100%. So now the buyer gets a full quantity. Buyer can see the difference. You say about 2% of sales. So sales is up by 2%, your overheads remain same. So output quality is better. On your overheads you have better output. Your sales are gone up for no extra cost. Because both things are on, your on-time delivery performance will go up. Assuming that you are able to produce, say only 10% more every day. Okay? It will definitely help you improve your on-time delivery performance. Is it okay? It's simple unless you start producing 10% more, start producing 15% more. Then there's a problem. Okay? Otherwise, this will improve. And it does happen. What is next? As a result of this, your cost per piece will certainly go down. By what percentage it will go down, you can calculate. And as a result of the cost per piece going down, you got more profit to share between these stakeholders. Okay? So what you do is, use some of that to compensate for your workforce, because anyway the cost of living is going up, inflation is high. Workers want a better salary package. Workers want better compensation. You also know that you need to pay, but where can you pay from? You can only pay from the business. If the business can start generating more money, you have money to share. You start giving higher worker compensation. As a result, the workers are more motivated because they see the benefit of productivity improvement reaching there. They are able to correlate between two. I will only get my minimum wages. They are not able to engage it. The need for overtime will go down. Because you got more output, your on-time shipment is better. Need for excessive unplanned overtime automatically will go down. The moment the unplanned overtime time goes down and the workers are compensated better, so they are not losing a lot of money, the stress in the factory starts going down. So now your supervisors and managers are less stressed compared to earlier. Because otherwise they are always firefighting, always doing extra hours, So the life of a supervisor and manager is also not a comfortable life in the garment factory. We must acknowledge that. We must address that. If you don't address it, the youngsters will not come into this industry. Engineers will not come into this industry, will go away somewhere else. So we have to become attractive employer also middle management. Okay? So, and of course, when there is less stress for them, the less stress for senior management also. So you need to break that vicious cycle which pulls the industry down. What happens next? As a result, your absenteeism and labor turnover starts going down. Because worker sees that we are a more productive factory now, the management compensates us for that, management is interested in our earnings to go up, they are helping the production management.